Hi, guys. This is Jack here at Paranormal Planet. Thanks for showing up this evening. There's going to be quite a few newbies, I think, that are going to be out there. So, just going to let them know Paranormal Planet was on another platform and we're moving it over to the P.I.A. YouTube channel. So now there's going to be a lot of really good benefits to that. When I reference one of the videos that's on the channel, you'll be able to find it right away. It'll allow us to actually interact right on the chat with people that are listening out there, and I can address questions and comments right away as we're going instead of at the end of the show like it used to be. And so, yeah, we're very excited about it. Gosh, tonight's topic really is when I initially was putting out the ad for this show, it was Bigfoot and paranormal activity. And last night we sort of kicked off the inaugural podcast for Crypto Four Corners live Bigfoot podcast that we're going to be doing every Wednesday night. And that will be 7 p.m. Central. That was a time that seemed to be the best kind of time for all of the guest hosts involved. So that's kind of a round table discussion on Bigfoot, Dogman, and other cryptid animals. But there's quite a bit of expertise that's circled around in the Crypto Four Corner membership. Field researchers that are, have produced a lot of physical evidence throughout the years. So it's fantastic. So hi, Summer, for showing up. There's Ancient Ruby. Hi there. Got some people all showing up here that are finally kind of figuring out where the link is. But stop by over there. Gosh, Crypto Four Corners does not have a YouTube channel as of yet. So, and I don't know if they will. So those podcasts aren't going to be archived for longer than a few hours, probably on the P.I.A. YouTube channel, just long enough for people to see it. And then we're not going to worry about it being archived because it'll be every week. And they start to pile up, and there's just so much that you have to manage and deal with all of that. So that's just going to be strictly a live show. And then if you miss it, you'll have maybe 24 hours or something like that to be able to take a look at it. So that's a really, I'm excited about it. The expertise involved with the members of Crypto Four Corners as a whole is really unmatched in the field of cryptozoology. So there's a lot of you that are newbies out there. So I'm going to let you know I'm the founder of the Paranormal Intelligence Agency. You can come over to our website. So that is paraintelagency.com. And it is there that the P.I.A. collects, sifts through, coalesces, and finally produces some amazing reports. These are basically intelligence reports, but they are all about paranormal phenomenon. And that information is extracted through a huge number of different means. I think once you read one of the reports, they're self-explanatory as to how and why they're so different than anything else that's on the internet. And that's just the way it is. That's just a fact. So, and that's why I founded the P.I.A. So I founded the Paranormal Intelligence Agency because I couldn't find anybody who was doing or find anybody online who had the kind of research that I was trying to find. So, so I put it together myself and began to collect and present that. And that was, I don't even know, 25 years ago. So, God, there's a lot to kind of do an update today. I'm going to do we're going to talk about Bigfoot in the military. not serving in the military per se, like in uniform or anything. But the idea that there's something very strange going on with Bigfoot and military encounters, and I will also be covering that. So, taking a look at our live chat. I've not heard of that, Mitchell. So, and it's an interesting tie-in because many of you know that I've been doing this sort of UFO disclosure update as it's occurring in mainstream media from the Pentagon and the whole ATIP program. And there's some update on that. So apparently George Knapp, the journalist who broke Area 51 and Skinwalker Ranch, is running a piece about how apparently there was a secondary program to ATIP, and it was called OSUP. And this apparently was something that hasn't really been divulged completely. So looks like there might be quite a bit more going on with that whole disclosure thing that we're not seeing, obviously. So, and we're going to talk about Woo World. So, a Woo World update is, as I've been explaining on my show, is that place where your everyday life, the mechanism behind paranormal itself, and ancient prophecy all come together into this amazing sort of web of information. That information is talked about by both Alta report originating people like the Webbot and remote viewing groups that have a high proficiency and a high success rate, etc., combined with a lot of ancient knowledge. And we're seeing a lot of interesting results, actually, from combining all of that. So now I've been talking about the finds in Antarctica and how those are going to begin to affect your everyday life. I've been talking about, those of you who know me, which many of you do, I've been discussing the idea that there were many sources, the remote viewers, the Alta report guys, etc., and open source intelligence gathering. All of these elements were pointing to this time as being like truly, truly crazy. So, and where the archaeological digs in Antarctica figure into all of this and makes this bridge from the paranormal into your everyday life is going to be seen in the economy itself. So the mechanism works like this. So this new technology, it's alien technology they discovered a long time ago in Antarctica. Now they have to have it, and they're going to have to reproduce it. And this technology, much like our current day technology, solar panels, electric cars, you can go down the line, batteries of all kinds, require large amounts of silver. These new technologies apparently require vast amounts of it. Now, I've talked about that before because the reason why silver is important is because for the last 150 years, the silver market has been manipulated. This goes all the way back to the Opium Wars, is what they were referred to between the English and the Chinese, whereby the English at one point got all of the Chinese addicted to opium and then made them pay for the opium in silver. This, of course, bled China of all the silver. And later down the line, an emperor came along and England was buying vast amounts of tea, and he made them pay that back in silver. And ever since that point, there have been a series of ongoing conflicts along with the banking elite using unmined silver. So the idea that they could at some point maybe produce, through mining what they're trading on paper. And there's, you just can't do that, but they've gotten away with it for this long. And this new technology coming out is going to absolutely, change your whole life. So get ready for that. Hi there, San Diego. Appreciate it. Glad you have joined us. So this new alien technology, this is something that's been reported by Linda Moulton Howe. It's been reported by Cliff High. It's been reported by a number of military insiders who had credentialed military papers, who were able to prove, at least they were who they said they were, talk about operations in Antarctica whereby they witnessed both alien ruins, technology, apparently alien ruins and technology, and beings with elongated skulls. Now, a lot of people were, when this initially was, kind of made its way into the mainstream of the underground, I guess you would say, there were a number of high profile people going down to Antarctica, and they were doing it at times that were really odd. The most notable being John Cary, who flew to Antarctica on the day of Barack Obama's inauguration, at a time when he knew that nobody would notice. And we have to remember that, there's been others who have claimed some interesting things. So they've been calling that a pre-Adamite society, so a society that existed before Adam. Hi, Trevor. And that's something, because if you look on the YouTube channel right here on the P.I.A. YouTube channel, I talk about the ancient, there's a film I did called Ancient Alien Ruins in Antarctica, Mystery Solved, and take a look at that and the evidence that I've been able to collect in regards to Antarctica and the alien mystery, because you will be, I think, impressed with the amount of just of evidence that's there. That's, of course, not definitive, but it's a mountain of circumstantial evidence. So I also forgot to mention, so on this new platform, everybody's used to the old shows, Paranormal Planet being usually right at 1 hour or so. But on the new platform here, since I have control of it, we're going to kind of, I don't know, somebody posted something about silver there, but since we have control, the show's length will kind of vary from show to show according to the topic and the amount of subject matter that, relevant subject matter there is to relay to you guys, the viewers. That what's, that's what makes us different here at the P.I.A. is you will hear the latest and the, I guess, most compelling paranormal news that's out there, that's coming in from all kinds of different places. So the Antarctica thing is about to really play a role. I know a lot of you aren't paying attention to the ongoing, about to be real conflict with China. That's a something that's not being talked about a lot on like the actual TV, but if you look at like news articles, there's a ton of them. I know because I've been reading them every day and sharing them on Facebook, etc., etc. Thanks for the glasses. You know, I'm finally old enough. I have to have glasses. I never had to have them my whole life, and I've only had them for, God, I don't even know, 3 months, something like that. So, but I appreciate it. Um, so, a lot of interesting things have been going on. So, Congress has passed a bill, I guess, to fully fund a ongoing full-time functioning office of aerial phenomenon. So basically a funded congressional investigative body that what they say is supposed to be transparent to the public, although I don't think it's going to serve them any good now to try to hide anything because they've already let the cat out of the bag, and you can't take those videos back. That's just the way it is, and there's more coming. Definitely know that for a fact. So there is also a headline running out there. It's been talked about really in the dark corners of the web for a while, and I've been talking about it on my show for a while now, for the newbies out there. So we've done 40 weeks of these, so that's far too much to even worry about trying to move over, and a lot of that will be recovered as new information's coming in anyway, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, there's a new article out there, and it's saying that there are Air Force personnel who are calling for open congressional hearings because they have direct evidence of UFOs interacting with our nuclear ICBM missiles. The latest they claim, which we know isn't the latest, but the latest we have documented is 2010, whereby a UFO was able to turn off 50 ICBMs. Now, Senator Harry Reid has been on a number. If you're following disclosure at all, you'll know that he was the guy that got the ball rolling, and he did so because of the threat to our nuclear weapons. So at least that's what he says. But it's very, very interesting. So apparently these guys have actual data information, and they're calling for these congressional hearings. And so you're going to hear a lot more about that because that was the actual impetus for disclosure completely. So, but so, boy, that just keeps on going on. The UFOs are interested in our nuclear technology. Now, if you look at the UFO, the FBI.gov website or FBI Vault, they released a long time ago a lot of papers through the Freedom of Information Act dealing with their knowledge of extraterrestrials, or what they called, oh boy, it was an interesting word that they used because they didn't actually use the word extraterrestrial. They used supernatural. But, and these were prior. I mean, these are really, really old documents. So, but you can find those out there, and they're interesting because it mentions that the ETs were kind of living on a different dimension to this one. It was kind of like it's not, they say in the documents, it's not a planet like we think of it, but it inhabits the same space on another dimension. And when the initial nuclear bombs were detonated, it actually caused damage in their world. Therefore, they came through an interdimensional way here to see what was causing it, and they've been interested in our nuclear technology ever since. So that's very interesting. Yeah, that's true. Nuclear weapons are not a good thing. But apparently, the UFOs, it's not like we're going to be able to devise technology that's going to find its way around their technology in such a way that they're not going to be able to control the nuclear weapons. And apparently, they don't want them used. Therefore, I don't think they ever will be used. So, hi, Lee. It's good to see you. So, the nuclear thing is really interesting. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention because there have been a lot of people out there that have had paranormal experiences and want to relay those to the Paranormal Intelligence Agency. We might have feedback or insight or information you just don't have. And you can reach out to me here at the P.I.A. Through the website. It's paraintelagency.com. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a contact form that will go to the P.I.A. Mailbox, and I will get it pretty quick. So I needed to mention that, but we're running a new update on sort of this ongoing investigation that's been going on for at least a year now, having to do with giant Mothman / bat-like sightings going on around the Great Lakes and Chicago area. And my research has shown a cross link between Jonathan Keel's Mothman prophecies and the fact that he believed the Mothman was connected to an ET presence, and the fact that Chicago O'Hare in recent times has had many profound UFO experiences. Those can be found online, and that was no different just this last week. There was another UFO seen above that area, and there are ongoing sightings. Now, for those of you who are familiar with my book, Paranormal Planet, I present my unified field theory of paranormal activity. And in that, my theory postulates that all bipedal cryptid animals have to be extraterrestrial chimera constructions. And I provide a mountain of evidence for that in the book. And it's something I talk about ongoing, so you'll hear more about it, no doubt. Also, in the headlines, this is very interesting tie-in all together because it's something that I've been interested in following for a while. So, God, for a number of years, there have been a series of rock stars, mainly, that have come forward talking about their profound UFO encounters. And this is a very interesting pattern that's emerged to the P.I.A. And the pattern cross-links to the research of David M. Jacobs, who you might know is the premier expert, has been for 40 years on the alien abduction phenomenon. And in a lot of his research, the abductees came back and said that the aliens did not understand the concept of music. Which I find interesting, is music so mathematical? And yet that was recounted a number of times throughout a 40-year period. And so it's interesting to me, the cross-link between this pattern and the latest. I bring it up because the latest is Demi Lovato, who you know is eccentric, but all of these performers are. Right before her, and I'm talking about like last week, it was Sammy Hagar who came out. And then if you just do a search of rock star encounters with UFOs, you'll come out with this, amazing list. And so there's a pattern there, right? And And I think the pattern has to do with the fact that what these abductees are reporting is that they don't have a conception, an idea of what music is, and maybe they're interested in the beings, the human beings who are able have that ability in them. You know, maybe that's what it is. It'd be interesting to know if any of them had missing time. Who knows? Maybe they're performing concerts for like a big concert venue of Grays or something, and then they put them back. That'd make a good movie, actually. What else have we got here, guys? So, yeah, God, the Rockstar thing is just insane. Oh yeah, so some of you may be aware, maybe not. I might be, might not be. Don't quite know, because we don't quite know if the network is going to do the show. Be part of a show with three. It'll be three investigators. Me, one of them. The lead investigator is somebody everybody will know. So that's interesting. But anyway, make a long story short, there are people who claim to have an interrogation video of a gray alien. Now, they presented to me verbally only evidence to support their claim. Let's put it that way. That if they say what they, basically the evidence that they say they have, then this is going to be the real deal, and it's going to the show is supposed to basically present this to the public as a finding. Who had it all of this time, I don't know. I understand it's 16 minutes, and I understand it's extremely difficult to watch. So that's very, very interesting. So anyway, we don't know, because the executives at that network haven't checked off on it. So we'll see, if they analyze the evidence and everything and say, yeah, this looks good, looks credible for a docu-series, then they'll go ahead with it. If those head guys look at it and they're like, nah, this is too shady here for our type of journalism, etc., then they won't. And that's just the way it goes. So, and I've been through this half dozen times at least. So we'll see where that leads. If they say what they have, if they really have what they say they have, then that's going to, that will be mind blowing, but it'll also blow the doors off of disclosure. Oh God. And I won't tell you the reason why they're going to be able to prove it to the public, even though it's on film, but they can. So I will leave it at that. So loud booms have been reported. This time, New Hampshire. These are booms that have been going on prior to 2012. I know, because around 2012, just doing mad research back then, and everybody thought, of course, looking for the Mayan prophecy, etc., etc. Well, these loud booms started showing up, and that added to the fever of the time of the Mayan prophecies, and they're ongoing today, and they're just overwhelmingly strong and loud, to the point where they shake, like really, really shake entire houses, like an earthquake, but it's not an earthquake. It's not coming from underground. It's like a boom, like a noise, like a sound, so loud that it's amazing. Every eyewitness has described it as being amazing. Now you can see a lot of videos of these noises around the world on YouTube. So check out some of those. I've not done a video yet about those. Now, for a long time, even back in 2012, um, I had a theory that the booms were related to Charles Hapgood's theory of crustal displacement. Crustal displacement is the idea that you can have a pole shift. So there's basically the outer shell of the Earth is around this, liquid inner shell, and at some point, like ice builds up too strong, or it's too bloppy or something. There's too much on one end and not enough on the other of the globe, and the whole thing goes around the center. And it can do it like really fast, it happens in like a month, like all those continents like just move, right? And that, of course, that kind of causes just vast catastrophes. Well, what caught my eye about that was that when they found Einstein dead, he had one book on the counter of his dresser that was open, halfway read, and it was Charles Hapgood's book on crustal displacement. It's very, very interesting. So, yeah, those noises are really fascinating. But anyway, let's see what else do we have. Let's hope we don't have one of those pole shifts. If you've heard one of those booms, or when you hear them on YouTube or on video, you'll see what I mean. Like they're scary. And when I heard them, they were appearing at the same time that all of these. I don't know if you guys remember these trumpet noises. Weird, just grating metal and noises that were just coming from the sky in different places around the world, just so strong that it was being reported over and over again in mainstream media. So, and at the time, I was thinking, man, are we listening to sort of the moorings of the world, of the continents snapping, right? And that's causing these booms, but they don't create earthquakes. It's just creating these sonic booms. And at some point, you have this pole shift that takes place. Of course, that would be completely world ending. I definitely wouldn't want to live through that. So, so there is a historical precedent for those booms, and they're called the Seneca guns. And that's a phenomenon that's been going on a long time. And it's identical to the phenomenon that's now reported around the world. So whatever causes and is causing the Seneca guns, because they still have never figured it out, is probably also what's causing all of these other problems. So, and to our main topic, so Bigfoot and military encounters. So, a source I consider to be highly reliable, who is widely known, let's say, in cryptozoological circles, relate to me the knowledge that they had that at some point, apparently in the late 70s, 12 Sasquatch creatures were procured. The word procured was not elaborated on according to this person's source. Those 12 animals were actually procured by British intelligence, which that's awful strange, right? But they did it through Canadian intelligence services and apparently comprised one group or troop or clan or whatever you want to call them. Apparently, conversations had taken place with the British geneticist who had contacted them on his deathbed, who had studied the creatures and had relayed just some amazing information that roundabout and way shaped my paranormal theory. This was a long time ago that this person told me this. So these bodies were probably, and this wasn't specifically stated to me, but they were probably studied for military application. I mean, right? Anything that the military obtains is looked at in that light and is looked at to weaponize it. And that is curious to me because there are recent reports linking like the idea that there are foreign governments that are genetically manipulating like a soldier class. How scary is that, right? With slightly larger lung capacities and don't have to sleep as long and that kind of a deal. Oof, go down that road. So yeah, that's some pretty scary stuff. And this cross-link, P.I.A. cross-link, is the fact that that's not the only military, related thing, even though that's fascinating. We highly suspected that the government at some point had gotten some and had studied them, and that came from some serious good inside sources. But the other thing is that it's been reported by some military eyewitnesses, people that were on these bases at the time that these occurrences happened. There have been a number of Bigfoot encounters where the creature has made it past multiple layers, I'm told. So not just a single, but multiple layers of high level security into military installations. Now, I find that fascinating because if you read my book, Paranormal Planet, you know that I produce evidence to show that Sasquatch, there's a huge body of evidence to show that it's a chimera construction and that it's so advanced that only an ET presence could do it. So I find that just really, really fascinating that you have senators, military, eyewitnesses, videos, the disclosure, everything got rolling because of UFOs interacting with our nuclear missiles. And here you have some serious military insider guys saying, yeah, these creatures have made it past some serious security before they are seen or interacted with. We don't know what the outcome of those occurrences are. At least that's not been divulged to me. But that link is interesting because nothing's ever mentioned, as a connection between those two. But the fact that you have creatures that really look like they have a connection to the ET presence that's now being disclosed, going into military bases and their UFOs turning off our missiles, to me, must have a causal connection. And that's what's different about the Paranormal Intelligence Agency and why we're so different and collate all this information. All right, guys, so that's it for tonight. I appreciate everything. Forest ninjas, that's right. They are forest ninjas. So, again, the videos, there's 19-20 videos up. Take a look at those. Each one has the best evidence available for the particular phenomenon that it's talking about. I posted the video about the strange mummies being found, and that's on the channel today on the We Love Ancient Aliens Facebook page. It has like 294,000 members, and it's already gotten like 1,500 likes, and people are just going crazy over it. So check that out because there is new information coming about those creatures. So anyway, I will see you guys same place, same time next week, and we'll see how this chaos in the world keeps unfolding. Be well.